methods that you might find actors using today. And they're all variations of Stanislavski's system. The first one is outside in, kind of like physical action. If you change yourself physically, that'll result in a change in emotion. The opposite of that is inside out, kind of like method acting. If you change how you feel, then that will affect your body and you'll react physically. So both are really oriented to trying to affect the other person, your partner or partners in a scene, but they're just going about it a little differently. My personal favorite, the Magic If, involves imagination, where you don't have to have personal experiences that the character had. You don't have to necessarily understand how the character feels. You just have to imagine yourself in the character's shoes. And how would you feel if you were in that situation? How would you feel if that was done to you, even if it never was in real life? It's an imagination approach. It's very interesting and has served me very well in many roles I've played. Final one is substitution, and that's where you use unrelated emotions. It's not necessarily the same emotions that the character would have, but they're able to get you to the same reaction that you need for the character in the moment. So like its word, like the description, you're substituting one thing for another.
I just think that everybody has everything in them, and that usually directors and casting people see so little of what you have. They see so little of your potential. You have everybody in you, and people who really want to act and do it, can access all kinds of horrible things, and that's what we ask them to do. Actors, we want them to channel murderers because we have murderous feelings, and we want to see that played out. I mean, not to go too back into the ritual basis of the drama, but there is a need for people to embody these unspeakables and unimaginables, and so that's the actor's job. And I just think it's so that to directors, I want to say, don't just. I hate those meetings where you walk in, you sit down, and they just want to have a look at you. Well, then that's all they're going to get is a look at you, and a look at you is nothing. It's nothing. You got to imagine and see people's work, because people's work is where you'll find whether they can do this thing, can open you up to the hidden world of a character, to the stuff that is never explained, but is always layers your appreciation of the story, because that's why we're here, is to serve this entire story.
Notice that she talked about everything that the actor does must service the story. That's another way of saying the ultimate goal is to create a believable human being on the stage or screen. And it's the actor's job to embody unmentionables, to play murderous feelings, because we all have them. And that's what we demand of actors. Okay, technique. This is the practice portion of an actor's journey. And if you think about it, a musician is an artist, sculptor is an artist, but they work with things. A musician has an instrument that they get to practice with. A sculptor has clay that they get to practice with and use. What does the actor have? Look in the mirror. Your voice, your body, that's the actor's instrument. And it must be developed, just like a musician would practice and just like a sculptor would practice. So actors spend a lot of time in classes and working on connecting their voice and their body with their emotions and their personality, so that everything is at their command when it comes to that moment that they're hired and they need to do a character. So the two main things, the voice, it's very important. In live theater especially, you have to project without a mic. You have to be heard. Because if you're not heard, the story isn't served. If you're doing all these great things and you're emotionally connected to the character and you're affecting your partner, but they can't hear you past the second row, then all that great work is useless. The story is not being served. The body, often neglected in actor training, but very, very important. We often are not aware of how we move and what we do and the gestures that we make, but an actor needs to be aware. It's like an athlete who's getting ready for a big game. They're going to practice that week. They're going to go to in their mind and see the videos over and over and over again just to get ready for that one game, to be ready for the moment in which the ball is passed to them and they must catch it and make the touchdown or the score or whatever it is. Actors are very similar to that. They practice, they rehearse, they work on it. So when the game comes, when the show opens, or the lights go up on the movie set and action is called, they're ready and they're connected in their body and they're ready to use their entire instrument to get to the truth of that character.